My wife said, "I'm taking you on a special surprise date tonight." I got dressed up excited. Then we pulled up to her ex-husband's mansion. She said, "I want you to meet someone important." When she introduced me as her current project to the man she'd never stopped loving. I, 32 male, still can't believe what happened last Tuesday. Been married to my wife for 2 years, together for 4 total. Thought everything was solid. Guess I was wrong. She came home from work around 5 p.m. all excited. "Get dressed nice. I'm taking you somewhere special tonight. It's a surprise." Been a rough few months at my job. Long hours, stress. A surprise date sounded amazing. I put on my good suit, the one she bought me for our wedding reception. She was wearing this dress I'd never seen before. Red, form-fitting, expensive looking. "Where are we going?" I asked in the car. "You'll see. It's someone I really want you to finally meet." My stomach did a little flip. Her parents live across the country. Her brother's overseas. Who else would require this much buildup? We drove for about 40 minutes into this upscale neighborhood. Massive houses, gated properties, the works. She pulled into a circular driveway in front of this modern mansion. Glass and steel everywhere, perfectly manicured lawn. "Who lives here?" She was checking her makeup in the mirror. "Just come on. Be yourself, okay? But like, the best version." The best version? What did that even mean? A guy answered the door. Maybe late 30s, fit, wearing expensive casual clothes, the kind of stuff you see in those lifestyle magazines. He smiled at my wife like they shared a secret. "You made it. Come in, come in." My wife hugged him, not a friend hug, a familiar hug. "This is my husband," she said to him. Then turned to me. "Honey, this is my ex-husband." "Wait, what?" "Great to finally meet you," he said, shaking my hand. His grip was firm. Practiced. "Heard a lot about you." I looked at my wife. She'd mentioned her ex maybe twice in 4 years, always vague. "It didn't work out," she'd said. "We wanted different things." "Come see the house," he said. Just finished renovating the pool area. And just like that, we were getting a tour. My wife was oohing and ahhing over the kitchen renovations, the home theater, the wine cellar. I felt like a third wheel at my own, whatever this was. In the living room, there were other people. 2 couples, both seemed to know my wife's ex well, probably his friends. "Everyone, this is my ex-wife and her husband," he announced. My wife jumped in. "This is my current project." She said it laughing. Playful, like it was an inside joke. Everyone laughed. Except me. "Project?" I asked quietly. "Oh, you know what I mean." She waved her hand dismissively. "You're a work in progress. We're all works in progress." But the way she said it, the way his friends looked at me like I was something she was fixing up, upgrading, making presentable. The ex poured drinks, expensive scotch I couldn't pronounce. We sat in his living room while he talked about his business ventures, his recent vacation to somewhere European, his new car. My wife was hanging on every word. "Remember when we went there?" she said at one point. "That little restaurant by the water?" How could I forget? He smiled at her. Not at me. At her. I sat there for 2 hours. 2 hours of watching my wife light up for her ex-husband in ways I hadn't seen in months. 2 hours of being the current project while he was clearly still the one. On the drive home I was quiet. "Wasn't that fun?" she asked. "I've been wanting you two to meet forever." "Why?" "Why what?" "Why did you want me to meet your ex-husband?" "Because he's important to me. We're still friends. I don't believe in cutting people out just because a relationship ends." "You introduced me as your project." "Oh my God, don't be sensitive. It was a joke." "Didn't feel like a joke." "Well, it was. You're being ridiculous." We didn't talk the rest of the drive. I couldn't sleep that night. Kept replaying the evening. The way she touched his arm when she laughed. The way she dressed up for him, not for me. The way everyone in that room understood something I didn't. Next morning I called in sick to work. Started looking through her stuff. Not proud of it, but I needed to know. Found her iPad in her nightstand. She never locks it. Text messages going back months. Daily texts with her ex. "Thinking about you. Miss your face. Remember when we..." Photos she'd sent him. Not inappropriate, but intimate. Her in that red dress before we left. "How do I look?" His response, "Perfect, like always." Email exchanges about our future and timing and when things settle. There was a thread about me, him asking how's the project coming along, her responding, "Getting there. Still rough around the edges, but he's trainable." I'm trainable. like a dog. I screenshot everything, sent it to my email, put her iPad back exactly where I found it. When she got home from work, I was calm. Made dinner. We ate in silence. Are you still mad about last night? She finally asked. Nope. Good, because I'm going to his place again Friday. He's having a small dinner party. Thought we could go together. Actually, I have plans Friday. What plans? Meeting with a divorce attorney. Her fork clattered onto her plate. What? I saw the texts, the emails, all of it. Her face went through about 5 emotions in 3 seconds. Landed on angry. You went through my iPad? You introduced me as your project to the man you're still in love with. I am not in love with him. The messages say otherwise. Those are private. We're married. There is no private when it comes to another man. She stood up. You're overreacting. We're just friends. Friends don't talk about our future and timing. Friends don't send dress photos asking how they look. You're twisting everything. I'm done, I said. I'm filing Monday morning. You can't be serious. Watch me. Update 1. 5 days later, the entitlement came fast. She spent Thursday trying to convince me I was misinterpreting everything. Friday she tried tears. Saturday she tried anger. Sunday she tried bargaining. If you're that insecure, I'll stop talking to him. It's not about insecurity. It's about respect. Something you clearly don't have for me. Monday morning, I met with the attorney. Nice older woman who'd seen everything. I showed her the screenshots. This is emotional infidelity, she said. Possibly planning for physical infidelity. Either way, good documentation. What are my options? File for divorce. Pretty straightforward since you've only been married 2 years. How are your finances structured? Separate accounts mostly. I own the condo we live in. Bought it before we met. She moved in after the wedding. Any joint assets? Joint savings account we both contribute to. About $30 in there. My car is mine, hers is hers. I have a 401k from my job, she has one from hers. Kids? No. This should be relatively clean then. You'll likely split the joint savings, your individual accounts stay separate, retirement funds stay separate since you've only been married 2 years. The condo is yours. What about her? What can she claim? Not much. She can try for spousal support, but given the short marriage and her income, unlikely. She can contest the divorce if she wants, but with this evidence. She tapped the screenshots, she won't win. Filed that afternoon. My wife got served at her office Wednesday. The phone calls started immediately. 32 calls. 32. Text messages ranged from apologetic to threatening. We need to talk about this like adults. You're making a huge mistake. I'll fight this. You can't just throw away our marriage. My lawyer says you're screwed. I responded once. All communication goes through my attorney. Her number is in the service documents. Thursday evening, her ex-husband called me. Yeah, he called me. Hey man, I think there's been a misunderstanding, he started. Is this the ex-husband? Yeah, look. Save it. Tell my wife I said hi. Hung up. Blocked his number. Friday night, my wife showed up at the condo. I'd changed the locks Wednesday night. Smart move. She pounded on the door. Let me in. I live here. I opened the door, chain still on. You got the service papers. You know this is my property. You can't lock me out. Actually, I can. Your name was never on the deed. You never paid mortgage. Legally, you were a guest. My stuff is in there. I'll pack it this weekend. You can pick it up Sunday afternoon. Bring someone to help carry boxes. This is illegal. Check with your lawyer. It's not. She tried to push the door. The chain held. I made a mistake, okay? I'm sorry. Can we please just talk? Nothing to talk about. The marriage is over. Because of some texts, you're being insane. Because you never stopped loving him. Because you saw me as a project. Because you humiliated me in front of his friends. Pick your reason. I don't love him. Not like that. Your messages say otherwise. The way you looked at him says otherwise. The fact that he just called me to explain things says otherwise. Her eyes widened. He called you? Yep. Guess you two really are close. What did he say? Doesn't matter. We're done. Pick up your stuff Sunday 2 p.m. Don't be late. Closed the door. Heard her crying outside for maybe 10 minutes. Then she left. Spent the weekend boxing her stuff. Clothes, toiletries, books, decorations, everything. Put it all in the garage. Made it neat, organized. Wasn't trying to be petty, just efficient. Sunday at 2 p.m. sharp, she arrived. With her ex-husband. She brought him to pick up her stuff from our marital home. The audacity was impressive. We're here for the boxes, she said, trying to sound strong. I opened the garage. It's all there. The ex-husband, let's call him what he is, the problem, walked into the garage like he owned it, started looking through boxes. This should be everything, I said to my wife, ignored him completely. Can we talk? She asked. Inside? Privately? Nope. 5 minutes, please. Your lawyer can talk to my lawyer. That's all the communication we need. The ex cleared his throat. Look, man, I think you're misunderstanding our relationship. Did I ask you something? I cut him off, just trying to help. Help by loading boxes into the car and leaving. He looked at my wife. She nodded at him. He actually started loading boxes. Watching him carry her stuff was satisfying in a way I can't fully describe. This guy, with his mansion and his scotch and his European vacations, playing moving man for the woman who chose him over her marriage. When they were done loading, my wife tried one more time. I know I messed up, but don't you think this is extreme? Divorce over some texts. It's not about the texts. It's about who you are. You don't respect me. You never did. I was just the safe choice after he broke your heart. That's not true. When's the last time you looked at me the way you look at him? She didn't answer. That's what I thought. Take care of yourself. Closed the garage door, went inside, didn't look back. Update 2. 3 weeks later. My wife didn't take the divorce lying down, and the entitlement reached new levels. Her lawyer tried every angle, claimed she had marital interest in the condo despite never being on the deed. My lawyer shut that down with documentation showing I'd owned it 3 years before we even met. They tried claiming she'd contributed to mortgage payments. I showed bank records proving I paid mortgage from my account. She paid utilities and groceries from hers. Separate finances, separate contributions. Then came the really fun part. Her mother called. This woman I'd met maybe 4 times in 2 years. You're destroying my daughter's life. Your daughter destroyed her own marriage. She made a mistake. She's sorry. She's sorry she got caught. You're being vindictive, taking everything from her. I'm keeping what's mine. She's keeping what's hers. That's how property division works. What about the money in the joint account? We're splitting it 50-50. She'll get $15. That's fair. She needs more. She has to find a new place to live. Should have thought about that before emotionally cheating with her ex. That's not what happened. Text messages say otherwise. Have a nice day. Hung up. Blocked that number too. But the real power move came from the ex-husband. Got a letter from an attorney. Different from my wife's attorney. From him. Demanding I cease harassment of his partner. His partner. They weren't even hiding it anymore. The letter claimed I was interfering with their relationship and causing emotional distress by divorcing my wife. My lawyer laughed when I showed her. This is the stupidest thing I've seen in 20 years of practice. She sent back a response that basically said, my client's divorce from his wife has nothing to do with your client. Stop wasting everyone's time. But here's where it got interesting. Through some mutual acquaintances, I found out the ex-husband's business partner wasn't thrilled about him getting involved with a married woman. Their company did government contracts. Optics mattered. I didn't have to do anything with this information. Just knowing it was enough. 2 days later, my wife called from a different number. I answered just to hear what excuse she'd come up with. You told his business partner about us. I didn't tell anyone anything. Someone did. Now he's getting pressure at work. Not my problem. You're trying to ruin his life because you can't have me. I actually laughed. Can't have you? I'm divorcing you. You're the one who apparently couldn't let him go. We're in love. We always have been. Finally, the truth. Then why'd you marry me? Silence. Why'd you waste 2 years of my life pretending you wanted to be my wife when you were really just killing time until he wanted you back? It wasn't like that. What was it like then? Explain it to me. More silence. You can't, can you? Because there's no good explanation. You used me, probably to make him jealous, or to prove you could move on, or because you wanted to feel wanted, and when he snapped his fingers, you were ready to go running back. That's not fair. Neither is introducing your husband as a project to the man you actually love. Funny how that works. I do love you, just differently. Differently, right? Like you love a pet or a hobby. Stop twisting my words. I'm done with this conversation, and I'm done with you. Sign the divorce papers, move on with your life, be with him. I genuinely don't care anymore. You do care. That's why you're being so mean. I'm being honest. There's a difference. Goodbye. Block that number. The court date for the temporary orders hearing came up. My wife showed up with her new attorney. Apparently the first one dropped her. This one looked fresh out of law school. The judge reviewed everything. The text messages, the emails, the timeline. Mrs., you were in communication with your ex-husband throughout your current marriage? We're friends, Your Honor. Friends who discuss our future and timing? Those messages were taken out of context. What context makes this appropriate? She didn't have an answer. Temporary orders granted everything I asked for. Exclusive use of the condo, split of joint account, no spousal support pending final divorce. My wife's attorney tried to argue she needed emergency funds. Judge asked why. She has to find new housing, Your Honor. Does she have employment? Yes, but then she can use her employment income for housing. Motion denied. Outside the courthouse, my wife was crying. Her mother was there, glaring at me like I'd personally victimized them. The ex-husband was there too, standing off to the side, waiting. She went straight to him. He put his arm around her. I walked to my car alone. But honestly, I felt lighter than I had in months. Final update. 2 months later, the divorce finalized last week. Took about 90 days total from filing to final decree. Pretty fast, according to my lawyer. Final terms, I kept the condo, we split the joint savings, $15,000 each. Each kept our individual retirement accounts, each kept our own vehicles, no spousal support, each paid our own legal fees. She tried to fight for more. Her lawyer made motions claiming she'd given up career opportunities for the marriage. False. She had the same job the whole time. Claimed she'd contributed to the condo's value through homemaking. Also false. We both worked full-time and split household duties. Judge wasn't having it. 2-year marriage, separate finances, clear evidence of infidelity. Done and done. The interesting part came after. Remember the ex-husband's business partner? Turns out the government contract stuff was legit. His company lost a major contract renewal. Not because of my wife directly, but because during the renewal process there were questions about the principal's character and judgment. Dating a married woman while her divorce was pending apparently didn't scream sound judgment to the contracting officers. The ex-husband's company took a major financial hit. Word through the grapevine is that the business partner was furious and forced him out. Bought out his stake at a significant loss. My wife moved in with him right after our divorce finalized, into his fancy mansion with his expensive scotch and his European vacation photos. 2 weeks later, she moved out, heard from a mutual friend that once the business fell apart, his personality changed. Suddenly he was stressed, angry, not the sophisticated, charming guy anymore. Turned out most of his lifestyle was leveraged on that business success. My wife apparently didn't like struggling version of him. Imagine that. She's living with her mother now. According to social media, I don't look, but people still tell me things. She's focusing on herself and learning from past mistakes. The ex-husband's mansion is for sale. Market's rough right now. He's probably underwater on it. As for me, I'm doing fine. Not great, not terrible, just fine. Lost some money on legal fees, about $8 total. Lost 2 years of my life to a relationship that was never real. Lost some faith in people's capacity for honesty. But I kept my dignity, kept my home, kept my self-respect. The condo's quiet now, in a good way. I repainted the bedroom, got new furniture for the living room, made it mine again. Started seeing a therapist, dealing with the trust issues, the feeling of being used, the anger. It helps. Work's been good. That stressful project finished, got a small promotion actually. More responsibility, better pay. My boss told me I seemed more focused lately. Guess divorce does that. I'm not ready to date yet. Maybe won't be for a while. That's okay. Rather be alone and honest than coupled and humiliated. Ran into my ex-wife last week. Total accident, same coffee shop, wrong timing. She looked tired, older somehow. Hi, she said quietly. Hi. Awkward silence. How are you? She asked. Good. You? I'm managing. Another silence. I really am sorry, she said. For what it's worth, I know I hurt you. I was confused and selfish and I made terrible choices. Okay. Is that all you have to say? What do you want me to say? That I forgive you? That we can be friends? That it's all water under the bridge? Maybe. I don't forgive you, we can't be friends, and it's not water under the bridge, it's a scar that'll always be there. But I'm moving past it, that's the best I can offer. She nodded, eyes watering. I really did love you, just not the way you deserved. I know. Does that help, knowing that? Not really, but it's honest, so there's that. She left. I stayed, finished my coffee, went home. The thing about being someone's project is that projects have end dates. They get completed, abandoned, or demolished and rebuilt into something new. She tried to rebuild me into whatever she thought I should be, what she thought would make her ex-husband jealous, or would prove she'd moved on, or would fill whatever void she had inside. But I was never a project. I was a person, and I deserved someone who saw me that way. Took me a while to remember that. Took being humiliated at a mansion, finding devastating text messages, and going through a divorce at 32 to really understand it. But I get it now. I'm not anybody's project. Not anymore. The divorce papers are in a folder in my file cabinet, right next to the screenshots of those messages. I keep them as a reminder, not of her betrayal, but of my decision to walk away. Some people stay in situations like that, convince themselves it's fine, it'll get better, not they're overreacting. Make excuses for being treated as less than. I didn't, and that's the part I'm proud of. The revenge wasn't elaborate, didn't sabotage anyone's job or relationship, didn't blast them on social media, didn't try to turn people against them. The revenge was simple. I left. I took my dignity, my self-respect, and my property, and I walked away. Let them have each other and whatever mess came with it. Turns out that was enough. Karma handled the rest on its own. His business imploded. Their relationship fell apart. Her life got significantly harder. Meanwhile, I'm here, in my condo, with my promotion, in therapy, healing. Not perfect, not even close. Still angry some days, still hurt, still processing the betrayal and the waste of time. But I'm free, and that's worth more than any revenge I could have planned. To anyone reading this, going through something similar, trust your gut. When someone shows you they don't respect you, believe them. When someone introduces you as a project instead of a partner, that tells you everything you need to know. You're not paranoid, you're not overreacting, you're not being sensitive, you're being honest with yourself about how you deserve to be treated. And that honesty, that's what sets you free.